Thanks, guys. I'm here with the new head football coach of the Reeltown Rebels, Matt Johnson. First off, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. It's great to be here.
Absolutely.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, good deal. Well, we'll start things off kind of as an introduction to you. Some people that may not be familiar with the program, you were once a player as well as a former coach as well. So can you reflect back on a little bit of your time here as a Reeltown Rebel?
That's right. Well, I graduated here in 2003. Played with Coach ONeal. Some of the coaches on staff here I played for. Went off to college to Huntington for 4 years. Came back as a coach. And my last year here was 2009 before kind of taking a hiatus. But, a lot of ties here. I was born and raised here. Spent all my years at Reeltown, so this is a big homecoming for me. Really is a great opportunity for me to come back home and kind of get back to my roots.
And that's been a common theme here in the Lake Martin area. The same things happen at a couple of the programs here in our area. So what does it feel like to be able to come back and be part of a catalyst to continue some of that hometown momentum that you guys have so far?
Oh, it's great. I mean, the tradition here is, has always been real rich. Coach Webster, he coached my dad and a lot of people in my family. Carried on through Coach ONeal. He coached me. So, the tradition here speaks for itself for those guys and the people in the community. So just picking up the rope and continue carrying the torch in the same direction those guys are going and add a little twist and put my stamp on some things.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about Coach ONeal, somebody who was a staple here in the Reeltown area and the football community as a whole, somebody who's very well respected. As you get ready to take over for him, what was some advice or anything that he had, some words of encouragement for you as you get ready to take over?
Right. Well, Coach ONeal's thing's always been, and I'm sure y'all have heard him say it, it's always about the kids. So his philosophy of always keeping the main thing, and that's the kids. Do what's best for them, the hard work, the effort, the toughness, the grind, and everything else will kind of take care of itself. And that's just always been his philosophy in coaching, as a mentor to me, as a figure in the community. He's always kept that philosophy strong for him, and that's the biggest part that I've probably gotten from Coach ONeal, as well as some other fellow coaches that I've had the opportunity to work for.
Yes, sir. And so defensive background, so you're coming from your previous stop as a defensive coordinator, and now you're coming here as the head coach. From a head coaching standpoint, how does your philosophy as the defensive coordinator reflect on how you'll do some things here?
Well, it's very much so, very strong. My defensive background comes from here. So a lot of the things that we were doing already as far as philosophy-wise, X and O's, won't see a lot of changes there. Now the hard work, the effort, the toughness, how we practice, and how we work on and off the field, will be a reflection of how I was brought up in the same system.
Yes, sir. And so you were talking a little bit before we began the interview, and you said you really didn't get to start until June, but you did get to take part in spring. Just during that time period there, what were some of your thoughts on the team and some things that you guys can do going forward?
Right. Well, we tried to break spring down a little bit different. Once I got the job, I did start meeting with the coaches. On the weekends, I'd come over and we'd meet as much as we could without wearing them out and myself. So, we kind of mapped out spring a little bit different than normal. We wanted to, one, let the kids get to know me. Two, let them learn how we're going to practice, because that was a little bit different. And also I had to learn them and learn how we needed to practice, because for the past 6-7 years, how I've been practicing is a little bit different than how we needed to practice here, especially in the spring with the numbers being down with spring sports going on. So the main thing we wanted to accomplish was getting to know the players, let the players get to know us, how we're going to coach things, how we're going to run practice, and just get a feel for each other, the accountability part, the discipline part, any changes that they may see. And, there wasn't a whole lot of teaching football, so to speak. We were real simple. So it was just to get to know each other and how things are going to be run, which a lot was the same, but there were some differences that they had to get to learn. So it was huge for me. And for the staff and for the program for us to get over here and implement some of the things that we needed to do in the spring. But on the other hand, not getting here till June, we were a little bit, behind the 8 ball. But being able to come over in the spring and do that really did help a whole lot.
Yeah, And again, we're here with Matt Johnson, who is the new head coach of the Reeltown Rebels here. And as I was coming in, I may mess up the quote a little bit, but it says, "Character is what you do when nobody's looking," or something similar to that. And I think that's indicative of the type of people you have in Reeltown, and it's reflective in your football teams. And you talk a little bit about that and kind of what that means for your football program.
That's huge. Matter of fact, that quote, I don't know who come up with the quote, but we had Brother Tim Smith, the pastor up here at Reeltown, spoke to our players a couple of weeks ago, and that's what he spoke to them about, is character and what you're doing when no one's looking, and how you carry yourself on and off the field. And, when those stands are empty, how are you going to act? So that's huge for us, character. And character building is a huge part of this process here that we're trying to get going, which is why summer, like we talked about earlier, is so important for us, because we want to get that character and those relationships built, and sell our product and let kids buy in and let the community see a difference in that aspect. Because, obviously, the world, it's not common to see kids of character in our community as much as maybe we used to. But if we can have a big part in that, then that's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. Well, before we start to wrap things up, who are some teams on the schedule that you're looking forward to? I know there's one game in particular that everybody within the community is pretty excited about, but kind of looking at the schedule from your playing days and previous coaching days, what are some teams on the schedule you're looking forward to?
Right. Well, there's a lot of new teams on the schedule that I'm not as familiar with as a player and as a coach that I can just go off film from last year. Obviously, the rivalry games, the Dayville, the Notasulga starting off. That's our biggest game right now, because that's the next game. But, of course, you got your Dayville, your Lochapokas. It's a rival for the community. And it's good. It's good to get caught up in that, so to speak. But, you can't put too much stock in it. Let your season define yourself on games that really don't have an importance to the major picture. So, obviously, our region games, Lynette, Lafayette, are going to be powerhouses this year. We've got Woodland and really everybody in our region. We've got Horseshoe Bend right up the road here that's a region foe. So it's a tough schedule. It's a tough region for 2A football, but, we look forward to the challenge.
Well, speaking of looking forward, we're looking forward to seeing all the things that you're able to accomplish here at Reeltown, taking over for Coach Jackie ONeal, but the times are changing now. We're looking forward to seeing what you'll be able to accomplish. So congratulations again on the job, and again, we're waiting to see all the things that you get done here.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, sir. For Sports Splits Live Local Look In, I'm Scott Hardy. Back to you guys.